What's up, my comic comrades? Today we return to the Ultimate Wolverine series with issue 2, and let me tell you something, this book just keeps getting better. In fact, I actually had the opportunity to moderate the Ultimate Marvel Universe panel at MegaCon Orlando this year, where Chris Condon, writer of the Ultimate Wolverine title, was one of the guests. And during the panel, one of the things he kept emphasizing was that this version of Wolverine is unlike any we've ever seen, and we can expect some big surprises as the story rolls out. So let's see if issue 2 brings us any of those surprises. The issue starts off 30 years in the past in the North American Union. We see a scientist recording a log about the progress of his work, saying, "My proposed weapons project has been postponed once again pending further analysis. Bureaucrats, still our initial findings have yielded results that may be useful, though our first adamantium-infused subject, Weapon Alpha, died within minutes of the procedure. My small but devoted staff and I have discovered a remarkable number of individuals with abilities beyond our own, living among us in secret. Mutants, so-called the rumored Homo Superior, are potential subjects. Some of these individuals have the ability to heal themselves, others a supernaturally heightened ability. We do not know their full potential, with a pending approval from the Department of..." But before he could finish his sentence, he starts hearing clapping as we see it's the Maker who just entered his office, and as the Maker is clapping, he says, "Very good, Professor." The Professor says, "Who's that? Who's there?" The Maker responds, "I am but a simple man in search of a better world." The Doctor looks at him saying, "There's no such thing as a perfect world." And the Maker just smiles at him saying, "A better world, Professor, better." The Professor then says, "What are you doing here? No one's supposed to be here, and I've never seen you before. What's your clearance?" As he tries to discreetly grab the gun hiding in his drawer. But the Maker responds, "Clearance? This is my clearance," as he extends his index finger right through the Doctor's mouth and out the back of his neck, killing him all T-1000 style. The Maker then lights a match saying, "You see, Professor, I'm making this a better world. A better world is one that you're not in," as he sees a picture of Logan on the Doctor's corkboard. The Maker then sets the building on fire and leaves. The comic then takes us in the present to Eurasian taiga, as we see a group of soldiers in the wilderness looking for something, and their leader finds footprints in the snow that just end. So of course they start looking around to see how that's possible, and when one of them looks up, he sees someone hiding in the treetops above, and that someone is Wolverine, as the soldier yells, "Up there!" Then on the next page, we get a splash page of Ultimate Wolverine, aka the Winter Soldier, in this universe jumping down to start attacking the soldiers. The art is absolutely amazing. And speaking of amazing, what if I told you there was a company called Pork Bun? Curiosity peaked? I know. Well, what if I also told you that porkbun.com, today's sponsor, is the best in the business at serving up all your web hosting needs while also sounding like the best barbecue joint in America? A combo that has our full endorsement. But we're not alone. In fact, USA Today named Porkbun the #1 domain registrar for 3 years running. And part of the reason is because they offer low prices on hundreds of different domain extensions and powerful hosting options with amazing support. This lets you create the kind of website you want to show off what you do with a .com domain, or even a .pro, .art, or even a .lol if you prefer. You can even use their AI-generated search tool using ChatGPT to help you search for domain names. But whichever domain names you choose, Porkbun will hook you up with tons of freebies like SSL certificates, whois privacy, DNS, and URL forwarding. They've also got a free trial for their link in bio tool that makes it easy to keep links to all your platforms in one place, plus web and email hosting trials. And all of these awesome features and tools are backed by an incredible support team 365 days a year. Overall, Porkbun.com is simple to use and easy to navigate, so you can manage everything about your new domain from one place. So head over to porkbun.com/variantcomics24 to get $1 off your next domain name at Porkbun. Okay, so on the next page of Ultimate Wolverine 2, we're taken to some time before, and we see Magic, Colossus, and Omega Red, as one of them says, "And what if someone else gets in that puppet brain of his? What then?" Dr. Alanya answers, "Impossible. Make no mistake, leaders Rasputin and leaders Rosovich. He is ours." Magic asks, "How can you be so sure? We are not the only ones with telepaths at our disposal. Perhaps the project should be terminated." Dr. Alanya asks, "Terminated? We've sent him on 4 missions already, 4 successful missions. The opposition is reeling, leaders. He humiliated several operatives last month on the western border alone." Magic tells her, "Successful missions are a dime a dozen, Dr. Prostovich, just like your other creations." The Doctor responds, "What does that mean?" "I am tasked with certain directives, and I accomplish them. I fail to understand why I'm defending myself when..." Magic then interrupts her, saying, "He has no memories. You say this. You said this time and again. But how do you explain what happens when your little Winter Soldier sleeps?" At this point, Magic starts getting a little aggravated and starts using her powers to intimidate the Doctor while continuing to say, "Oh, you didn't think I knew? Well, perhaps it is time to check in on your project to see for ourselves how well he is doing," as she teleports herself, the Doctor, and her comrades to where the Winter Soldier is. The Doctor says, "Excuse me, as with any normal being, this is a regenerative cycle. Restorative. He is dreaming. Would I prefer him to be inert? Yes, of course. But this is not an exact science. It takes time, testing. He is mostly docile while awake. He obeys." Colossus says, "Remove the specimen. I want to inspect it myself." The Doctor tells him, "Leader, he is in stasis." To rip him out suddenly would be potentially. Colossus then just lifts the Doctor up by her neck while saying, "Do not underestimate how disposable you are, Doctor. Remove the specimen now." When he puts her down, she says, "Yes, leader." She then presses some buttons to take him out of his sleep, and when the door opens, she says vitals are reading normal. And then she says some words in Russian to have the Winter Soldier walk towards her. Colossus then walks right up to the Winter Soldier, staring down at him, while the Doctor says he responds to verbal commands when prefaced with designation. Otherwise, he may react, let's say, poorly. Colossus then grabs the Winter Soldier by the neck, saying, "Dr. Prostovich, do not dictate how I may interact with my own property. I know how to handle creatures like this. It is not with verbal commands." As he lifts Winter Soldier in the air with one hand by his neck, saying, "Creatures like this, men like this, they know violence. They respect it. Because unlike you, men like this know there is no such thing as safe. Every second of existence, there is someone or something trying to take from them. And men like this, they know that men like me stand in their way. If you don't crush them, if you don't show them your power, your true power, they will resist. It is inevitable, Doctor. After all, he has done so before." So we will reinforce the lesson. The Winter Soldier's rightful place is under our heel, as he chucks the Winter Soldier across the room. Colossus then says, "I think we should like to see the Winter Soldier in action. No more reports. We want to see." Magic smiles, saying, "Yes, a test. Dr. Prostovich should like that. She loves her tests." Colossus then cracks his knuckles while saying, "We will send 10 of our finest soldiers to pursue the Winter Soldier in a combat scenario fully monitored. Only one shall emerge," with Omega Red saying, "Excellent." Colossus continues to say, "It will not only be a test for your subject, but for you too, Doctor. Fail and we shall revise your relationship with Directorate X." Magic Colossus and Omega Red then finally leave as the Doctor checks on the Winter Soldier, saying, "Thank God they're gone. What a mess. Come, Winter Soldier, you have a new mission ahead of you." And with that, we're brought back to the present, where the 10 best soldiers Colossus has are being attacked by the Winter Soldier. We see Logan has already killed someone as the soldiers just start shooting in the air aimlessly. One of them then says, "Hold your fire. Is this the opposition? Is that who's out there? Anyone get a good look at them?" Another soldier replies, "Not them, him. One man," with another soldier saying, "And he didn't look like the opposition." Another soldier says, "What? It's got to be the opposition though." The soldiers then continue walking through the forest as one of them says, "He looks like, it sounds silly, but my babushka told stories when I was little of a creature in the woods. Leshy, the forest spirit, if you disturb the forest." But before he could finish his sentence, another one of the men says, "I saw it too, only for a second. It was running like an animal, on all fours like a demon." As they continue walking, they're like, "What the hell are we dealing with?" A soldier then tells them, "It is no monster, no demon or forest spirit. It's the Winter Soldier." One of the men responds, "That's a myth," with the other one telling him, "Did a myth just slice Korvac's face off? If that's true, myths are getting pretty dangerous these days." Another man says, "But I thought rumors were a Winter Soldier was one of our men, a tool of the Eurasian Republic's leadership." One of the soldiers answers, "Perhaps he is," with another saying, "Then why is he hunting us?" At this point, they see cameras hidden in the trees. A soldier then says, "Perhaps you should be asking why we're hunting him. If he is one of us, then the only reason for us to be here is simple. We're practice." The soldiers are like, "They're filming us? Why?" A soldier then says, "Remember that, comrades. It's him or us. And if it's us, we had better put on a good show." As the Winter Soldier emerges from the trees, putting his claws out, and on the next page, we just see the Winter Soldier walking out of the woods slowly, holding all the soldiers' heads. He then walks up to a camera that's filming him, drops the heads, ejects his claws, and breaks the camera as Colossus says, "Ah, Crosophy, what's the Doctor saying?" And she says, "Yes, beautiful indeed." And just like that, Issue 2 comes to an end. This series is just absolutely amazing. It is action-packed, and the way Condon is weaving in the politics going on behind the scenes is so good. And like he said, this version of Wolverine is just a killing machine, just a weapon to be used at the Eurasian Republic's discretion, which is basically what the Weapon X program had planned for the 616 Wolverine before he broke free and became an X-Man. So it's a really cool concept. Not to mention, we're 2 issues in and Winter Soldier or Logan hasn't uttered a single word. He's just a mindless killing machine. So what can we expect next now now that he's proven himself to the leaders Colossus, Magic, and Omega Red. How are they going to use this insanely dangerous weapon? Although, you know Winter Soldier is not going to forget Colossus throwing him around, trying to prove his dominance. In fact, I'd say Colossus's days are pretty numbered, and it's going to be glorious to see that play out. In any case, what do you guys think of this new take on Wolverine? Are you digging it? Let us know down in the comments. Other than that, we will see you next time when we talk about all things comics.